Welcome to Babonga's channel. Let's start. Begin with 1 meter of common wire 1 millimeter gauge that you fold in the middle and twist to make the head. Follow aligning both wires, bending like this to create the shoulder, and then continue to make both hands equal. Now open like that, and you have both hands equal size. Now secure each arm by turning around the shoulder like that, so the arms will be pretty steady and strong. The rest of the armature is easy. Just twist to create the waist part, and then fold both wires up together to create equal length legs. To designate the feet, twist at the bottom of each leg and make a loop. By no means I say that this is the best way to create an armature, but it is a way to do it. Now, secure the remaining wires at the waist, maybe bend a little bit at the feet, and here we are. Now you may choose to keep it like this, or bend the wires and give it another pose. The next stage is very easy. We're going to cover with foil, so the armature gains a little bit more substance. We do that because air dry clay will stick so much better on aluminum foil than on simple wire, plus we economize on air dry clay. Here I'm correcting the size of the head, and now let's move on to air dry clay. First apply white wood glue, and then start covering with a thick layer of air dry clay. Cover everything and don't think about the forms or the anatomy. It's not important yet, but leave uncovered the tips of the hands, feet and head. Use your tools to smooth the clay and distribute it correctly on the armature. Also, you can smooth using your hands and a little bit of water. After finishing, leave it to dry overnight. Next day, start with the head. Just place a little bit of air dry clay there, shape it, and start the eyes by making a groove where you want them to be. Press symmetrically like this to get the general position of the eyes. Now add some clay there to fill the socket and start working it with your tools to create an eye. I can't say here that it is very easy to sculpt an eye in this size. It all depends on your skill or the tools you have, but eventually, if you take your time, you can create a pretty nice eye. In fact, everybody may use a variety of methods for sculpting. For example, as you see here, I'm using a little wet brush to shape and smooth the clay. So, finish the eyes and let's move on to the nose. Generally, the nose, to my opinion, is easier to make than the eyes. But still, you have to integrate this part with the rest of the face. You have to give it the right size and shape. You can always smooth with your wet brush. And after finishing, you can add the details, like the nostrils. So again, take your time until you are satisfied with the result. As you see, I've left the lower part of the face pretty weak. Now, I'm going to add the mouth area and the cheeks. So I'm adding clay and integrate it with the rest to create the cheeks and jawline. And as you see here, I made it much heavier, but it all depends again on what you want. Now let's carve the mouth, starting with the lower lip and then proceed with the upper lip. The mouth carries almost all the expression on a face. So work carefully on this, and after you finish, the face is ready and we can move on to the hands. Make a clay cord and cut the 5 little digits that you make a little bit pointy at one side. To make the hand, you have to bring all these together. Again, I don't say here that it's easy, but I find it still easier than the eyes. And this is because simply one can always refer to their own hand as a model. Checking, for example, the position of the thumb in relation to the other fingers, or adding flesh on the palm where it's supposed to be, or comparing the size and shape of each finger. Again, the main problem is the tiny scale that you have to work with, but it will be done. Now, let's attach the hand to the rest of the sculpture. Use glue and then press in position. Make the fresh clay integrate with the dry clay using your tools. Probably you'll need to correct a little bit the position of the hand, or even trim the fingers so they are not too long. Look at it from all angles and don't forget the back side too, that needs to be covered with a little bit of air dry clay, and as always smooth it over. So work on this and then proceed to create the other hand, maybe choosing a different pose for it. And it is true that hand posture can convey a lot of feeling or expression. Now let everything dry again. And next day you can sand the parts that are going to be exposed. And with this, the first part of our little statue is ready.